Good evening and welcome to yet another Star Trek podcast. The podcast where we watch Mac's headroom of SG-1 slide to Earth 2, where he fights the evil law form Wolfram and Hart. What?
I don't get it.
All right, I'm gonna redo that.
No, leave
listen,
that
I
in.
think we should.
We're leaving that in.
Keep it. You're screwed.
You're done.
You're
not
done.
editing
You're
that.
done. You got one
All
shot.
right.
One.
All right. Well, the fellow nerds that listen, they will appreciate everything. But as usual, folks, I'm your host, Brad, and of course, joined with me as always are my good friends, Statler and Waldorf. How are you two dudes doing today?
Are we a law group? Statler and Waldorf?
Apparently.
It does.
No, the Muppets.
Oh, what? That's what that is?
Now I know who you're talking about. It took a second.
Is one of them brown?
They could be. They're Muppets. They can be anything you want.
No, that just means
Have
that
you
they have.
not seen the Muppets? Like the two guys in the balcony who complain about
Oh,
everything?
with their hands up their butt?
All of them have hands up their butt.
That's offensive.
Oh, well, gentlemen, how are you doing? It's been a whole day since I've talked to you two.
Well, I mean, it has.
For our lovely listeners out there, we attempted to record this episode yesterday, but due to technical difficulties, that really did not happen.
Can we clarify what the technical difficulties were?
Can we also clarify whose fault it was?
Mainly, it was my internet was not doing very.
Your internet
well.
was.
It was
Your
a
internet
lot
was garbage.
Yeah, it was garbage. He didn't pay the bill.
Yeah, if that were only the case. But yes, there was apparently a lot of stuttering and a lot of, I would like to say, maybe chipmunk type sounds.
You had the microwave and the washing machine running at the same time, which messed with your internet. That's the official.
Clearly.
outage, RFO.
Mm.
But it has been a bit since the listeners have heard from us. So how's everybody doing tonight? Drew, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired, but I'm excited to be here. I'm wearing a Star Trek t-shirt, which nobody but you two can see. It's great.
No, I'll link the OnlyFans.
Thank you.
Link
Thank you.
afterwards.
It's going to be $4.99 per month to see me in various Star Trek t-shirts.
That's it.
And if you upgrade to the platinum,
Cheap
if
date.
you upgrade to the platinum package, maybe you'll show a little skin.
Calves.
Totally calves,
Yeah.
but nothing above the calf line.
Drew, you seem happier, like you've become one with your road rage.
Oh well, my work schedule. I was telling Brad before we started recording. I've been going in from 6 to 2 this week, so I haven't had quite as much traffic. I'm getting up at like 4 a.m., which sucks, but there hasn't been as much traffic on the way in, and for the most part on the way home as well. So that helps.
In the summer, in the summer, it's better traffic wise.
Well, I'll be working overnights in the summer, so
I'm sorry.
That is unfortunate, Drew. I apologize for that, and Majeed for getting knowledge that he has already been told.
I mean,
But Majeed, how are you doing over there, buddy?
well, I'm up at the same time Drew is, except 2 hours later. So like when Drew's heading to work, I'm.
So you're
Okay,
not
let's do the
hold
chip.
on. If you were up at the same time I was, you'd be waking up at 4 a.m.
How dare you fact check me live on this podcast?
He has you there, Majeed. What time do you wake up,
I'm
sir?
up at
5?
5, and I'm at the gym at 6. I'm back home by 8, and I start working. But
So I'm pretty sure that makes you a little more in the positive side than Drew there. I'm getting the vibe that you don't actually have that long of a commute from your couch to your desk.
I'm also listen, buddy. Don't you work on your bed with your laptop?
Oh no, I just totally sit on the porch and look out over the pool and nothing other than that.
Both
That's
of
all
y'all could shove it up your butts.
Oh yeah, right. You can't. Well.
Anyways, well, it sounds like everybody except Drew is having a good time with his commute.
I was having a great day until you guys mentioned the road rage. Now I feel like smashing everything in sight.
Every time I see a GIF of Dennis from It's Always Sunny in road rage mode, I think of you now.
Seize the gap.
Right, seize the gap. Seize the gap.
That is your life, Drew.
Am I driving with a bowl of cereal in my hand as well too? Because
listen, we'll get to the Star Trek part of it, but that whole cereal bowl thing from It's Always Sunny, the fact that it's based on a true story, and the fact that the creators they told their buddies and they just put it into the show, that's just even better. I love that.
So next time we're doing a Always Sunny Philadelphia podcast, aren't we?
No, it's been done before.
Like I said, that would be my number 3 podcast.
Well, we are here for Star Trek, so let's shall we move on, gentlemen, to the episode?
I don't see why not.
Let's do it.
Okay. This week's episode was Dagger of the Mind. We joined the crew of the Enterprise as they're transferring supplies to Tantarus Penal Colony. Sadly, the episode has nothing to do with the mythological Greek figure that shares the same name. Kirk explains that the colony is protected by a shield and that it needs to be lowered before they can transport anything over. Turns out, an intruder sneaks aboard at the right moment when they beam aboard onto the Enterprise. The man quickly knocks out an engineer and steals his clothes. The penal colony notifies the Enterprise of the intruder, and he is apprehended and returned. That's it, folks. That was the episode. Thanks for listening to yet another Star Trek podcast. You all have a good night.
Bye.
It didn't, unfortunately, turn out that easy. In this case, the intruder was actually Dr. Simon Van Gelder. However, he was acting, quite frankly, out of his mind. I don't know about you gentlemen, but he seemed pretty nuts and a pretty good job of doing so.
The dude was a complete lunatic.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, we ultimately find out why, but
listen, coming out of quarantine, 2 years into this thing, I thought he was fine. I thought he was fine.
You could relate really much, couldn't you?
No, seriously. Can't blame the guy. I wanted to get out.
Well, they bring Gelder to sickbay where McCoy examines him. While en route to the penal colony, McCoy expressed that he feels something is seriously off about the situation, inevitably forcing Kirk to open an investigation on what happened on the planet. Kirk and Dr. Helen Noel, a young, attractive lady who apparently knows Kirk from somewhere else, seems very happy and excited to be along for the mission.
Yeah, she knows Kirk from somewhere else, all right.
That we find out a little bit more of later on in the episode. She does start telling people to call her Helen, so I'm going to respect her wishes, even though some other people did not. Once inside the colony, they are greeted by Tristan Adams, who shows them around. Kirk keeps questioning everything that I'm seeing, while Helen defends what's going on. Eventually, they get to the Neural Neutralizer. Adams explains that it didn't really work out so well, so it's not worth checking out. But naturally, Kirk gets interested. While the two are on planet, Spock performs the first human mind melt. I don't know about you guys, but that was kind of a bit of a surprise. I completely forgot that they were going to do something like that.
Did they? I could be mistaken here, but I feel like this is the first time we've seen a mind meld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, it was. I think this is the first time they even mentioned something like that. Did they ever actually mention it by name in the episode? I don't recall.
No, he just said it was
so.
An ancient Vulcan technique.
Yeah, and I think that just gets retconned later on.
Well, there was an alternate version of the script. I don't know if you guys saw this on Memory Alpha, but in the alternate version of the script, the ancient Vulcan technique was actually ripped out of the Kama Sutra.
Folks, if you could see Majeed's attention, it just immediately changed once he heard that.
Hang on, Brad. What were you saying, Drew?
Let's just say that his Vulcan ears perked up.
What page?
Well, I think it's page 52, Majeed. 52.
Oh,
52.
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar with that one. You have to make sure you stretch first, though. Can't just go right into it.
Stretching is key
and preferable.
It helps avoid injury.
Yes.
Well, we cut back to Kirk and Helen alone, and for some reason, Kirk feels that it's a good idea to go ahead and test the Neural Neutralizer on himself. I don't know about you guys, but that to me was like, I think that's a bad idea, even before they went and did it.
I mean, he didn't have any red shirts to try it on.
I know. Yeah. I mean, who else is gonna do it, right? Yeah. Well, Kirk parks his butt into the chair while Helen drives.
They couldn't beam down waves and waves of crew members because of the shields. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brad.
Get in this chair. What is it? Shut up. Listen to orders.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry, Brad.
Drew, you good, Drew?
No.
He's honest.
I will push on for the both of us, okay?
Please do.
All right. So while Kirk is there, Helen makes him forget, then makes him hungry, and then gives him a really good memory. However, Adams interrupts and says, "No, I'll give him a better good memory, so watch this, sister." He makes Kirk fall madly in love with Helen as if they couldn't be separated. They send them back to the quarters for some random reason, which I didn't really understand why. But then Helen escapes, trying to find a way to contact the Enterprise. She crawls through an air duct, which was, perfectly human size, which seems convenient in my mind.
I think she ran into John McClane in there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It had to be with him in his lighter and bare feet. She gave him directions.
Beam down to the planet. It'll be fun. We'll have a good time. Have a couple drinks.
Then the goons come back and grab Kirk to bring him back to the Neuralizer, which again is why I'm not really understanding why they send him away and then they came back. It doesn't. I'm gonna keep pushing on. While the device is activated, Helen manages to somehow shut down the power, freeing Kirk. Way to go, security! Hooray! Kirk breaks free and knocks the freak out of Adams to the ground. Spock then beams down while all this is happening and is like, "Hey, the power's off. I'm going to turn it on." And he turns it on. And it just so happens that Adams was in the direct line of the Neuralizer and he is getting toast. They end up finding him. And guess what? He's dead. And that concludes our story. So to sum up this episode, folks, mind melds do work on humans. We don't talk about the Christmas party, and I still have no idea what this episode was about. Yeah. Gentlemen, if you have an idea of what actually happened here, I would be greatly appreciated if you can tell me.
I think the gist of it is they were experimenting on prisoners.
Okay.
But the first person that they experimented on, or that we see that had been experimented on, was a doctor.
Mm. Well,
so
and there wasn't much discussion about them testing on prisoners. Just
no,
people
but I think that was I think the implication, because it's a penal colony, which is a fact that was I think completely dropped after the captain's log.
It makes more sense watching this episode about how it's been rewritten a few times. The episode had a very interesting flow, and oh man, some of the things just didn't make much sense as to like why they were doing certain things. There was like, I understand what he was doing, the atoms, but they didn't really explain why in my mind as to why he was doing it that way. Like, did he have a goal of like, oh, I'm just trying to make people better and I just need to do it this way? Or am I just completely lost on this episode?
No, there was no reason.
I mean,
okay then.
Power,
control,
glory,
okay.
the scientific method. I don't know.
That's when you throw a rock in the air and see how long it takes to get to the ground, right?
Right, and then you document your findings when it smacks you in the face.
So, Majeed, what were your thoughts on this episode?
I thought the first 5 minutes where you're gonna kick my ass for this one, but
get the demerits ready.
When the prisoner beamed onto the ship in the box, I said, "Oh my god, this is the closest we'll ever get to a Metal Gear Solid adaptation." I said that is exactly how Solid Snake gets around the base. is mailing himself in boxes.
Oh, that's
perfect.
What was that?
He proceeds to right. He proceeds to sneak around the ship, just like Solid Snake. And the one-hit knockout, by the way. Can we talk about the one-hit knockouts? Where are you hitting people that you're gonna knock them out in one hit? Like they hit him like in the back, not even the back of the head, just like the neck. Like, right? Not even where they hit him. It was a karate chop. What is happening?
Judo chop.
Right. They all came with their action figure sounds. And then he performed a little hitman action, and he took the clothing, which didn't work for a while until he, broke
no,
his
he
dice.
immediately was caught. Like,
yeah.
the entire, so when I was first starting to watch it, the entire episode was going in a direction, and then it did a 180, and I was like, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's like they started with a script. It said, all right, we're going to have this script, this story of someone breaking onto the ship. Then they caught him immediately. By the way, the combo between Kirk and Spock, where Kirk hit him, punched him in the face, and then Spock came behind him and did the Vulcan sleeper hold. Loved it. Yeah. I thought that was fantastic teamwork.
They do work well together, don't they?
They do.
It was an interesting episode that went. I think it could have been better if they just stayed everything on the ship and they had an intruder.
I kind of liked the plot, and I liked the concept of, this mind manipulation, this brainwashing, and I think that would have been a pretty cool storyline in of itself. If it was executed better. The idea that a doctor, who had been experimented on, was also like batshit crazy and made it up onto the Enterprise by hiding in a crate. Like, I really feel like that should have been a prisoner, full stop. So it just seemed like they were trying to misdirect the audience kind of from jump.
They never really explained why. Like, it was he did it, right? They never really explained why he ended up neuralizing his coworker.
I'm looking through the memory alpha trying to find something that I missed, because I actually fell asleep during this episode.
Yeah, the middle of the episode dragged. Like, the first act was great, the third act was okay, the second act was horrible. Hey, why were some of the red shirts wearing red robes, like full, like silk, like shoulder to toe, like they were silk robes? They're like onesies.
I don't remember that.
There's some like uniforms that are like you'll see the engineers, like it's supposed to be like an overcoat kind of thing, but it's a
jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's a jumpsuit.
I mean, it's for people working on engines, and it's an engineer. If you think about it, you work on an engine, you get greasy, right? You're not necessarily going to wear your normal clean outfit that you wear every day. You'll wear
but I'm not gonna wear my sexy robe to work on an engine.
It was a jumpsuit, though.
I'm not gonna wear my sexy jumpsuit to work on an engine.
I mean, I guess my definition of a sexy jumpsuit and yours are really different.
Sexy jumpsuits aside, this isn't the first time we've seen this uniform, though.
No, we've seen it before.
Hang on, can we get more detail about what Brad has as a sexy jumpsuit?
No.
Send me a picture later.
Yeah, I'll DM you.
All right.
Don't forget to CC me
Drew.
on that.
But I think I think that kind of killed the flow for me. And I understand, Drew, how you could have fallen asleep. It just it had its moments.
Well, I do feel like I just want to clarify that I'm pretty sure I fell asleep because I was exhausted and not because I was bored by the episode. Because I don't usually fall asleep on the sofa. Like, that's not something I do. I just happen to have this on, and I just got really, really tired. And so I don't want to say this episode put me to sleep, because I don't think it did. I went back and I watched the rest of it later on, and I did enjoy it, but yeah, it is something that happened, though.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought the first and third acts of this episode were so funny. When Spock finally gets down to the planet and he's trying to rescue Kirk, he sees Kirk and Helen in an embrace. Spock is standing at the door. He just gives this eyebrow like, really? I come to save you and you're doing this? Really, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Helen for a second there. As soon as you saw her, you could tell it was the quote-unquote love interest of Kirk. Because they did that 1960s glow, make her look really, the special shiny object, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was surprised at how quick Kirk was to dismiss her comments too. Like she was like, "Hey, do you remember that time when?" He's like, hush hush about it. Like, I wasn't expecting that,
No, because to me that seemed like something actually did happen.
Totally. That's the impression I had.
Well, yeah, I think that kind of goes. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking of too. I think that goes along lines with the rewrite. They probably rewrote it a few times, and they maybe left the line in, because I think maybe in the one of the original scripts, she did have some sort of fling with Kirk. I think that would make more sense that way. But instead we get them having a little conversation at the Christmas party.
Right. Is that why her last name is Noel?
Oh shoot, man! I would possibly.
Oh god, that's just lazy writing.
I mean,
it's not like it's Peter Parker, man. Peter Parker is so sophisticated.
Yeah, they every time she starts to speak, Kirk cuts her off, and then he kind of acts like McCoy sent her with him, as if it was a prank. Almost,
yeah.
It's like, well, she better be the best. So I do believe that if something didn't happen, something was about to. At that party.
Well, I think potentially the way the way he was acting towards her, it felt so un-Kirk like.
Yeah, I think so too, because Kirk to this point, he's portraying himself as a ladies' man, but one that draws the line with his crew.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not the first time he's done that.
Yeah.
He's kind of something with Rand, and then
but he's drawn the line with her.
And it feels though with Helen though he may not have drawn the line, or it was weak to that line.
Yeah, this is definitely a case of what happens at the Christmas party stays at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
We've all been there before.
Majeed, what were your thoughts on the character?
Man, I did not like her. Listen, when you brainwash someone to saying, yeah, we totally did something at a Christmas party. That's basically she inceptioned him.
Yeah.
She put that idea in his mind, and that
might be a red flag, right?
Was it she that put that in his mind, or was Adams?
She did. She did, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you saw me at the Christmas party, you swept me away, and we went back to our room. Or your room.
You're right. I remember now.
Because it was like
a lot of red flags.
Yeah. So, is that like assault? Did she sexually assault him?
Yeah. Oof! Wow, we gotta argue.
No, because technically all it was just implanting a memory. Not saying that
Inception.
he necessarily like loves her or anything. That's Adams. Adams did that, and so.
But I mean, at that point, he's already halfway there. It's like it didn't take.
Yeah,
any
so it's
work.
definitely morally questionable to implant a memory. But I mean, it was interesting to see how it goes from she made him forget something, like just forget, and then made him hungry, and then goes to we had a good time at the Christmas party.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wink, wink,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
The other character, though, Adams, the villain of the episode, he kind of felt a little. The writing for him wasn't like there. I didn't really care too much, other than the fact that he was just the guy of the episode. There was no rhyme or reason as to why he was doing anything specific. It just was Adams being Adams and brainwashing people.
that Adams is a silly bitch.
Yeah, he came off kind of cartoony.
Yeah.
His, like he just had no follow through.
Well, because we never got that villainous speech where he reveals his master plan.
Right. In the world of Star Trek villains, he ranks well below the Ruck. The Ruck is still up there.
I mean,
the Ruck would have beat the crap out of Adams.
I had a better understanding with what the Ruck wanted as opposed to Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there was a clear motivation there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this episode was a lot of half-baked ideas. What episode number in terms of production was this? I know it was released 9th?
This was the 9th released, the 11th produced.
Yeah, because you get to a point in a season, right? You're contracted for X amount of episodes, and you hit that halfway mark, and you start to slump.
Yeah. Well, they so this episode, this aired 10th in the season. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, so this is technically episode 10, I think. Hold on, I'm all out of order here. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, it is episode 9. But I'm just looking at what else is in here. Yeah, they have a long way to go before the season's over. 29 episodes, and they haven't even hit the they're not even, a third of the way through. Or just barely,
I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of mediocre episodes in the coming months for this.
Well, there's a couple that I'm really looking forward to seeing. City on the Edge of Forever is coming up. I believe it's towards the end of the season. We still haven't seen Balance of Terror. I'm really looking forward to that one. And then there's a few. Menagerie.
What did I say?
Not the Menagerie. That one's going to be kind of weird because it's essentially the cage wrapped in.
Nope. Pass.
Well, you're going to get to see it again.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, I'm interested in how it turns out, because we didn't like the cage so much that like, is this something going to be tolerable, or is it right up there with the cage?
Listen,
From what I recall, yeah,
Pike is gonna come out in that little wheelchair with the BB thing, and I'm gonna laugh uncontrollably because I'm gonna think of Futurama.
Oh, you'll finally be able to see the actual episode that it refers.
Yeah, you know it's so funny. We're what 8 or 9 episodes into this show, and if I go back and watch episodes of Lower Decks, there's so many references.
Oh yeah,
it's all starting to kind of make sense now, right?
Yeah. I watched Star Trek Beyond the other day, yesterday. And I'm like, oh, look at that. That's something that happened in the first season. You know, I'm digging back to it.
Do you remember what it was that's jumped
no.
up? Cool.
Nope.
All right, good. Good job.
I'm broken. I just know that there was a thing. I was excited. I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme pointing at the TV, and it was gone.
Majeed, I think the one thing that I really hope is that you do watch the other series, like at least TNG, maybe Deep Space Nine. You can skip Enterprise. I tell you that much. That's one of my least favorites. But no, I really hope you do get to watch those, because like Lower Decks has so many references to those shows, and it's so nice to like, you know, to get that little hidden joke, you know?
Yeah. So we watched the episode, and I forgot, was it Charlie X, Drew? We watched an episode, and you were like, go back and watch Lower Decks season 2, episode 1 to get the reference.
Oh, for Ransom going. It wasn't Charlie X.
Right.
It was Where No One Has Gone Before.
Oh yeah.
Where no man has gone before. Where he got killed with a rock, and then the doctor threw a rock on him. It's so funny going back to it.
Gary Mitchell is an ant.
Right. It's such a good rewatch once you understand.
Oh man. Well, gentlemen, shall we move on to our ratings?
Well, I have a question actually. How the hell did Adams die?
Brain melt.
The neuralizer. Like, how did it set for max?
Did he? It wasn't set that high. Did he trip on the controls?
Have you ever scrambled eggs?
I've sent you pictures. Yeah, of course I have.
Well, the scramblizer scrambled his egg brain.
Wait, is it a neuralizer or a scramblizer?
Whatever. It's the same shit.
Neuralizer.
We need to nail a name for this thing so I don't get confused.
It's called the crap, I can't remember now.
Neuralizer. You know what? Neuralizer is fine.
Have you ever neuralized eggs?
Neural Neutralizer.
Have you ever neural neutralized eggs?
I've scrambled eggs. God, we've lost each other on this thing. I've cooked eggs, and I've used a fork, and I've gone like.
You're supposed to use a whisk.
You can use a fork. I use a fork.
Yeah.
Team Fork.
Hey, who are you?
I'm trying.
Who are you?
Hashtag.
Who are you?
Hashtag Team Fork.
Yeah. Jerk. Not all of us wants to wash dishes, Brad.
I don't wash. I just throw it in the dishwasher at this point.
Wow. Wow.
I just want to
state. Mr. Moneybags over here.
I just want to state for the record that we are struggling for content with this episode. We're 36 minutes in. We're talking about
dude, like I swear, like I watched this episode and nothing happened.
No, something happened. Listen, no. Something did happen. You know why? Because Kirk resisted the machine.
Did he rage against
Kirk?
it?
Did he lose his shirt or rip it?
No, he didn't. But Drew, that's one less demerit for you.
That was a good one.
Good job.
That was a good one. Right?
That was good. That was really good. That was really good. Yeah.
Woo!
Yay, Drew. That being said, no, he really did like resist the neuralizer for a bit. Adams was like, "Hey, put down your communicator," and Kirk's like, "Screw you! Hey, guys, I need help."
What did you guys think of Spock's interaction with the crazy dude?
I don't remember it.
It knocked him out, and that was it.
I don't remember it.
Dr. Van Gelder. I think it was.
Well, like they so the other thing that kind of frustrated me is that they were doing cutbacks into the ship, and none of it actually mattered. Like there was, we got to see the mind melt, we got to see like them talking and discussing, but there was no actual point to carry on with that. It just was there.
Van Gelder was Solid Snake, right? He was the guy playing Solid Snake.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. He did the
Crazy
mind
Eyes.
melt. Yeah, he did the mind melting.
Yep. You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Ric Flair.
Woo.
Yeah, he was kind of styling and
Sorry,
profiling a little.
you can't say Ric Flair without someone saying woo.
I was gonna belt one out, but I just didn't want to peek the microphone.
Sometimes you have to peek the microphone. Wait, did I say pee the microphone?
I think you did.
Sometimes you have to peek the microphone.
Well, now we kept that in.
That's fine. I'm not embarrassed. I should be, but I'm not.
We'll forgive you for that.
Guys, I didn't love this episode. I did not hate this episode. I thought the episode gave me some laughs. Listen, knowing that this is the closest I'll ever get to a Metal Gear Solid adaptation, I'm okay with it. We had the sneaking around, we had the one-hit punch, and we had the mailing yourself in the box to get around base. I'm okay with it. And by the way, the red alert. We had the red alert.
Do you think that Dr. Van Gelder paid postage to get himself beamed up?
I don't know if it works that way. I don't know how the phaser and other technology works. If it even has a purpose. I do have a question after we review.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you nerds because I don't understand. So I'm hoping you can explain it to me.
So what would you give this as a score?
I would give this a 6.
Okay. Very solid 10. 6 for you, or just kind of like a weak 6?
What's the difference?
I mean, you really think it's a good 6?
I think that if I were jumping and I landed on a 6, I would have not faltered. It would be like a solid landing. Does that make sense?
Okay. No,
right.
It does. It makes sense. Drew, how about you, buddy?
I don't know. It does it matter? I feel like a 5, and like, all right. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I found it less offensive than Miri, but it didn't like go anywhere either.
You hated Miri because of the kids.
Yeah,
yes.
The kids took a point off. They didn't like destroy it for me. But I gave Miri a 5.
No, you gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4. You gave it a 5. I'm sorry. No, we're I can't see straight. I don't know.
So
I kind of want to change Miri based on how bad this was.
Well, you want to give Miri a higher score?
No, you can't.
You're right.
Because we had that debate last week.
You're 100% right. And I didn't say I was going to change it, but that's kind of where my brain is at.
True is broken.
Yeah, let's give this a 4.
Oof.
I'm gonna match it with Miri only because while it didn't have the same flaws as Miri, it had different ones, kind of putting it on par. Slightly below average. Not the worst episode I've ever seen, but it's, I don't know, it just it kind of bored me.
Yeah. So I understand that. I didn't hate the episode. It had some interesting concepts, like the whole neural neutralizer was interesting concept. Having the guy sneak on board the ship was very interesting concept. despite none of the internal sensors detecting a person, beaming on board. Apparently they don't have that back then. But it really fell short of making sense to me. I can see them rewriting the script multiple points where they left parts in saying, oh, this is fine to leave in here, when in truth it kind of lost making sense. It wasn't as bad as Miri where they just gave like, hey, there's a second Earth and never talk about it again.
Oh my God, get over that. You guys,
I'm not.
Listen,
no,
get over
I'm
it.
not.
Get
never,
over it.
Never.
Get over it. The same way.
Totally
the same way you complained to me about not getting over time travel. Get over the second Earth. And by the way, they do mention the second Earth again.
When?
They mention the second Earth in in Picard.
Different series entirely.
It doesn't matter.
I haven't watched it, so you know what? I haven't watched that episode yet, so I would appreciate it if you didn't spoil it for me, buddy.
I didn't even see it. I just happened to know because of Alpha Memory or Trek Core, whatever it's called. One of those places.
When you get a chance, shoot me a link for this, because I think you're mistaken, but I think you're referring to something completely different.
Maybe.
Because look, there's alternate universes and time travel and all kinds of crazy stuff in all of Star Trek. So you can't base the first copy of Earth that you come across in the original series.
I think he's probably referring to the mirror.
That's what it seems like to me. Although knowing what's going on in Picard, it could be a different reference. I just don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, no, I get that. I appreciate it. But Majeed, I think it's more, think about, was it Lorca from Discovery?
No, it wasn't that.
Okay. Well, tune in 5 to 10 years, folks, and maybe we'll talk about it. I think though with Dagger of the Mind, I think, Drew, I take the kind of approach is, would I watch this, like if I'm just flipping channels and I come across it, I can tell you this much, I'd probably keep it on if I actually came in at the beginning of the episode where the guy sneaks on. But if I come in at any point after that, I'm gonna be like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think to me, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go with a 4.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, I did not expect you to go that low on this one.
No, I just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't resonate with me. Like, to me, it felt very jumbled. I didn't care for it. Like, I was thinking, I was like, did I know Miri, that Earth, that the second Earth really bothered me, but like the storyline made sense, I guess you could say. And thinking back some of the other ones that we've watched recently, the stories flowed very well. It just, yeah, this one was a solid 4 for me.
Yeah,
I think it fell short.
Yeah.
Well, as we all kind of concurred, a lot happened, yet at the same time, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing happens.
Or at least the neuralizer made me forget.
Oh, nice. Just like they forgot about time travel.
So, gentlemen, anything else you would like to add?
Here we go. So, I found it. The planet. So, going back to Miri, right?
Yeah.
Should I take my headphones off?
Brad. Damn. Brad. Demerit.
Earmuffs?
I tried so hard. No, it doesn't actually say what happens. It just.
All right, Majeed, go ahead. You can speak. You can speak, sir.
True.
You know, you can start talking. You can just keep going.
You know, I'm just talking to
you.
you.
I don't understand why you're just stopping, and you can keep going. I keep telling you.
The planet on which this episode is set is never named in the episode's dialogue. The script referenced it as Earth 2. Over 50 years after the episode aired, a star chart shown in Star Trek Picard episode Maps and Legends identified it as Miri.
That's an Easter egg.
Who cares? That's not the same thing? That's still
no, that's entirely different.
Oh God, you're so hard to please. You are so. Listen, I was trying to help you out,
Look,
jerk.
there's freaking quotes from Buckaroo Banzai scattered throughout all the L cars in Next Generation. Does that mean Buckaroo Banzai is canon in the universe of Star Trek?
Oh boy, yes it is. It's totally canon.
What's Buckaroo Banzai?
A wonderful film.
What?
It's a film?
It's a film.
When was it made?
In the 80s. It stars
Who's it?
Peter Weller, Jeff Goldblum. Who else is in that? John Lithgow is in it.
Peter Weller.
RoboCop.
RoboCop?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is bonkers.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
It is a bonkers film, and it is wonderful. I love it.
I know they mentioned it in Ready Player One. I'm like, oh, cool. Is that a person? So is it a good movie?
It depends on your interpretation of good.
It's campy. It's very
campy. I think it's a very enjoyable film. But it's not the kind of film that I would recommend you watch with your wife or your daughter. Not because it's bad. I mean, like, there's nothing like, it's not a naughty or dirty film. Like, it's perfectly acceptable for both of them to watch it, but they will disown you.
Listen, I told them I was doing a Star Trek podcast, and they basically disowned me.
This might be a step further.
You want to ruin my family.
They will question the people you hang around.
They already do. They met you guys, and they met Brad over a video call because he couldn't make it that day.
I met your wife in person when I gave you a giant poster of the Flash. Oh no, it was a sketch. It
was just hanging up right next to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I framed it. Wait, was it already framed, or did I frame it?
It was framed. I already framed it.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah, but if I ask her who you are, if I ask my daughter who you are, she's like, Brad, who's that? She does know Drew. She knows Drew because Drew came to my house. I think, was it 2021, Drew? You came to my house.
Yeah.
I technically came to your house.
Hey, easy there, Buckaroo Banzai guy. So Drew came to the house, and we're standing at the front door. My mother was there. He's standing at the front door, and we're like, do we hug? Do we not hug? Do we are we wearing masks? What do we do? We're like dogs, like circling each other at the park. We ended up not hugging. And it was heartbreaking. But I think that was what, Drew, 45 seconds to a minute of us dancing around each other.
It was pretty awkward. It was like going on like a first date with somebody that you've been talking to on the internet for a long time, but you're not really sure like how you're going to be in person. And then you kind of like there's some sparks there, but you're not really sure, and neither one of you want to make anything happen. So you just kind of dance around it for a little while, and then eventually you just go both your separate ways and you never speak again.
Right. But when we saw each other later in the year, we definitely hugged. Well, and it was magical.
We had to make up for some lost time.
Yeah, we definitely made up for lost time.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to making up for some lost time with both of you.
Oof, that'll make it weird.
And anyways, anything else you want to add, gentlemen?
Yeah, I had a question. Sorry, I had a question. How do phasers work? Are there bullets? Does it charge? Do you have to wind it up in between shots? How does this work? Because I just see them firing.
So I think Next Generation was when they finally like nailed down the quote unquote science. So there's a lot of stuff that just sort of works in the original series with very little explanation, or an explanation that's later changed. But from what I understand from the Next Generation, phasers have essentially battery cells in them, and they're shooting energy.
Pew.
Yeah. Sorry,
I couldn't.
But they also follow the magical rules of movies and film, where they can do exactly what you need them to, like fire a very short distance, or fire a very fine point laser that can cut through doors, or fire a very wide beam, or stun people, or kill people, or melt people, or fire.
That's another question.
Yeah. What's the question?
So I was watching Star Trek Beyond. This is why the question came up. And I'm like, okay, cool. The bad guys have green lasers, and they're set to automatically kill. Spock is running around with his stun gun. So is it that Starfleet can't kill? That's why they always keep it on stun?
Well, Starfleet prefers to incapacitate.
Okay.
Because they believe in bringing people to justice. And if somebody's dead, I guess they can't be brought to justice.
Yeah, you can't tough talk about a dead guy.
Right. You know, they kind of go in with the mindset that like even the most evil person can be rehabilitated.
Oof, you know what would be great?
Mm.
A Star Trek themed Law and Order. Think about it. Like Starfleet brings in the bad guy, and then you have the prosecution, and then you have the defense.
I mean, they do courtroom episodes occasionally. One's coming up in a couple weeks.
Menagerie.
Yep.
Menagerie. Menage.
Good job, Majeed. I'm proud of you.
I hate you so much, right? Don't patronize me.
I'm giving you confidence, buddy.
You're not giving me confidence. You're making fun of me for not being able to pronounce menagerie. Menagerie? Damn it. It's fine. I'll get to it eventually one day. Menagerie.
Menage.
Menagerie.
Think about Nicki Minaj, but
Nicki
Menagerie.
Well, I'm saying the same thing. Menagerie. Right, because it's Nicki Menagerie, right? Right? It's Nicki, like, her name is Nicki Marat. Oh my God. What just happened? Nicki Minaj?
Well, folks, I appreciate you listening, but next week we're going to be watching the I don't even know what the freak we're going to be watching next week. What the heck is this thing? It's the maneuver? Something maneuver.
Since this is Majeed's episode, you should make him say the name of it.
Wait, what is it called? The Corbite maneuver?
Corbomite.
The Corbomite maneuver.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be watching that. It's exploring a distant region of space. The Enterprise is threatened by Balak, commander of a starship from the First Federation.
The Corbite maneuver, folks, by the way, sounds like something you would find on page 56 of the Karma Sutra.
Folks, tune in next week for that.
What was it that is this like? Are we gonna see like Han Solo like frozen anywhere in this episode?
No, you're thinking of Carbonite, but I'm totally on board. I'm totally on board. Hey,
anyways, folks,
when do we get to see that alien that throws a rock at Kirk and they're fighting in that pit?
The Gorn?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that real? That's a real thing. It's not just like something made up.
No, that's a real thing.
Oh God, it's gonna be great.
I'm not sure what it is. Brad is desperately trying to get us off the air.
Brad.
Well, folks, thanks for listening. Take care and have a good night.
Good night.
We're gonna see that alien real soon.
Menagerie.
Thanks for listening to yet another Star Trek podcast. We're a part of the Retro Sessions Network. This episode was recorded on April 12th,
2022.
It was hosted by Brad, Drew, and Majeed. As always, Drew somehow manages to edit our episodes even when we make a lot of mistakes. I wrote the synopsis, and I apologize for how bad it was this time, folks. Majeed, of course, takes care of all the amazingly beautiful artwork. Love you, Majeed. Special thanks to William Grobelar Music for our music Warp Speed and To the Stars. You can find him on SoundCloud. We'll have links in the show notes. Also special thanks to George Ratau for additional artwork. He made us look like Lower Deck characters. Hit him up on Fiverr and you can too. We'll drop a link for him in the show notes as well. We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter at yetanotherstpod, or shoot us an email at yetanotherstpod@gmail.com. We've also got a Discord room, so come chat with us and say hello. Next week, we'll be watching the Corbomite Maneuver, or however you call it. Watch along with us on Paramount Plus and let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know how you thought of the episode with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Or else we'll neuralize ya. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.